What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 6 team builder, taking on Leo and the Mexico City Wallbreakers. His team consists of Mega Alakazam, Z Move Zero Aura, Superior, Nidoqueen, Klefki, Z Como, Blastoise, Mandibuzz, Moltres, Lycanroc Dusk, Musharna, and Z Wigglytuff. He has priority options in the Zero Aura with Fake Out and Quick Attack, Nidoqueen with Sucker Punch, Klefki with Prankster Shenanigans, Blastoise with the Aqua Jet, Lycanroc Dusk with Sucker Punch and a Cell Rock. Hazard setting on his side, he's got the Nidoqueen with rocks and T-Spikes, Klefki with spikes, Como with rocks, Lycanroc with rocks, and Wigglytuff with rocks. Removal options, he's got the Superior with Defog, Klefki with Defog, Blastoise with Rapid Spin, Mandibuzz with Defog, and Moltres with Defog. And 4 times weaknesses, his Como is 4 times weak to Fairy, and his Moltres is 4 times weak to Rock. I realized a fatal flaw in my plan over here somewhere that I should probably fix in a little bit here, but we'll get to that as we go down. So only things I'm not really expecting are the Musharna and the Wigglytuff. Musharna doesn't really do anything against my team. It could come as a Conkeldurr check, but I think that Mandibuzz probably feels that a little bit better, and it loses to a lot of other things on my team. Like it loses to Mega Swampert, it loses to Scizor, loses to Hydra. So we'll sort of see if the Musharna shows up. I'd be a little bit, I'd actually probably be pleased to see the Musharna over something else. Same with Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff has a pretty awful matchup here, especially against the Scizor team. Scizor in itself has a pretty good matchup here, but I'm not bringing it, and I'll talk about that later, I guess. I built this team a long time ago. I just went on vacation, and I got back today, or last night, and playing Leo today, so sort of a little bit over the place, and I built this team like a week and a half ago, thinking that we would play before my vacation, but that never ended up happening. So, yeah, there was like a random bye week thrown into the mix, and so here we are. So, yeah, Necrozma's here. Got the Moonlight, Toxic, Sub, and Psychic. So I figured I could sub on a few things. I've got Toxic to wear down things like Mega Alakazam. If it is going to be a sub Alakazam, then that's probably going to be a little bit more of a problem. And I'm also like mono walled by Mandibuzz. I could probably get rid of something like Substitute for Calm Mind, and I might actually just do that right now because I think that Calm Mind turns me into a little bit more of a threat. I wanted Psychic over Photon Geyser just to like use more of them over a longer period of time than try and deal with that. I'm probably going to get Prankster Toxic or Toxic by Mandibuzz at this point, but I guess I'm okay with that. I'm not running rocks on this week anyways. It's physically defensive, so I can somewhat handle the Zera, definitely handle a physical Como-O, and definitely handle a physical Lycanroc. I should still be able to two-shot Lycanroc. Lycanroc's got pretty poor defenses, so should not be a problem there. Gardevoir here, I'm running a little bit more of a clerical set this week, as well as still being relatively offensive, because I know that things like Prankster T-Wave are coming, and Prankster Toxic are coming. I figured I would bring a Heal Bell Gardevoir. I don't know why I'm not... There we go. I wanted Heal Bell for sure, and this was like my only cleric option. So we're going with that sort of to, make Necrozma's job a little bit easier, but also make Hydreigon's job a little bit easier in the late game. So I've got Healing Wish to heal that up if I need be, if need be later as well. Trace is there for things like the Zera Aura, so he can't Plasma Fist me. I can trace like Contrary on the Superior and maybe get things going there. Potentially trace things like Bulletproof or Soundproof on the Como-O. I don't know. Pressure Moltres, Flame Buddy Moltres, things of that nature. And if I can trace Sheer Force on the Nidoqueen, then I turn into a threat myself as well, I should say. So we'll sort of see about that. Gardevoir obviously threatens out the Nidoqueen, but I don't need to be synchronized this week. I'd rather be Trace. I'm max speed to speed tie with the Mandibuzz. So this is my best way to kill the Mandibuzz is this Gardevoir, just clicking Moonblast against it. And so we'll see how that works out for me. Mega Alakazam is probably going to end up being a very large issue in the late game for me, but we'll see how it turns out, I guess. Heliolisk is next. I'm bringing a Silk Scarf set with Thunderbolt, Hyper Voice, Glare, and Bulldoze. I decided to be Dry Skin because it lets me deal with the Blastoise. If he is going to bring like a Sunny Day Moltres, then Solar Power might be a little bit better, but he'll probably be Z Sunny Day anyways, and I would just die to that. So, Dry Skin also leaves me open to that. And therefore, maybe I should go Sandville, but I think having the utility of being able to switch into a Scald from Blastoise at any point is still good there. I've got T-Bolt just for good stab. Hyper Voice with Silk Scarf plows through a lot of stuff, actually. His normal resist is Klefki and Lycanroc Dusk, and so they don't really take they don't really take Silk Scarf Hyper Voice that well, especially when Klefki doesn't have reliable recovery outside of like Berry plus Recycle, which I don't consider reliable, and Lycanroc doesn't have any reliable recovery. So we'll sort of see if that works out for me. I've got the Glare spam here, so I can glare things like Serp, Kommo, Megalakazam, slow them down quite a lot. I'd rather glare those mons in particular, just to get things going. I can't glare Zeraora, and I can't touch Zeraora without Bulldoze. So obviously with Volt Absorb there, Thunderbolt is useless, and if he clicks Plasma Fists, it's like Iron Deluge. So my Hyper Voice will turn into Electric move, which will Volt Absorb onto the Zeraora. So I can't risk that, and so I need a way to hit it, and so I've got Bulldoze to hit it. It's not going to hit it hard, but it'll hit it hard enough that I can. It'll lower the speed enough that I can click Hyper Voice the next turn and be able to knock it out. I believe Bulldoze into Hyper Voice should kill Zeraora all the time. That's if he clicks Plasma Fist. He might click Close Combat. We'll see about that. If the Zeraora switches in, I can always, like, if it's his primary switch into the Heliolisk, then I can just click Bulldoze. I would imagine it probably is. I'm not entirely sure what else on his team really actually wants to take on the Heliolisk. It's quite a large threat against his team. Maybe the Nidoqueen, which I can also just Bulldoze and then Glare or something, or Bulldoze and then switch out. I'm Modest this week. I'm running Modest with enough speed for something. I didn't write it down. What? Why didn't I write this down? 307 outspeeds Moltres. Okay, I don't know why I didn't write this down, but I'll write it down now. Helio outspeeds Moltres. So I'm outspeeding max speed Moltres with this speed investment, which means I can be Modest. A little bit of HP and Spadef investment there as well, but it means the Hyper Voices are just going to be like plowing through this team. So we'll sort of see if it ends up working out for me, but it's a valid strat this week, I think, and we're going to roll with it. Excuse me. Mega Swampert's next. This is a bit of a weird spread. I believe it's similar, if not the same spread as what I brought against Ange and her Terrakion. Kind of designed to be able to take on Kommo a little bit better, but mainly the Lycanroc. Lycanroc is quite a big issue for specifically my Torn, and it can kind of just spam Stone Edge against a lot of my team. So I don't know. I've got Rocks on the Swampert this week, with Waterfall there for the Moltres, and then Earthquake for like the majority of the team. I would rather just click Earthquake against most things. I had Ice Punch in there predicting switches and whatnot, but I decided I wasn't running Defog, so I wanted something to get rid of screens from the Klefki. Hazards are going to be a problem, but I think screens would be more of a problem. So I changed it to Brick Break last second right before recording this to be able to break like a light screen set, because that could be really obnoxious against my team, and it would sort of like mitigate rain for a little bit. So I think it's a good strategy against me, and so I'd like to play around that a little bit. I don't recall. I'm outspeeding minimally invested Mandibuzz. Sorry. It's hard for me to do words today, but unfortunately Mega Swampert doesn't get quite fast enough when it Mega Evolves, so I needed to run a little bit more speed investment than I wanted to. Excuse me, to be able to outpace the Mandibuzz, which now that I've changed it to from Ice Punch to Brick Break, seems like it's probably not as worth it. I don't really need the defensive investment anymore. Might be more worthwhile to do something else. Maybe I don't run Waterfall and I run Toxic instead, because realistically Waterfall is only hitting the Moltres, and I'd click Earthquake against everything else. So that's probably about right. I should probably just run Toxic on this instead, and then roll with it that way. Hydreigon's next. I'm running a Scarf Hydreigon with U-Turn, Draco, Dark Pulse, Fire Blast. Draco pretty much claims one later on into the game. Dark Pulse is very easily spammable, but there are a few resists. So that's the main problem for Hydra this game, is that I'm gonna have to like break down the Dark resists and get going there. Draco's mainly there for the Kommo. I need this to be Scarf to Revenge Kill +1 Kommo. If it's an autotomized Kommo, I'm probably screwed anyways, but I might be able to trace like Soundproof on Gardevoir, and then like, I don't know. We'll get there when we get there, I guess. I've got Fire Blast on here to hit the Klefki, which is one of his Dark Resists. Excuse me. His Dark Resist are the Klefki, the Mandibuzz, the Wigglytuff, and the Kommo. I don't think Wigglytuff even comes. Draco will beat down Kommo. It should beat down Mandibuzz if it's physically defensive. And then Fire Blast was there for the Klefki. It might be more worth my while to put Defog on this. Probably over Fire Blast, in all honesty, so I think I will. just put defog on there because I'm gonna need to. I'm gonna need to later. But Dark Pulse spam should be reasonably effective later into the game, and this is a nice way to revenge kill mons like Zera Aura and Mega Alakazam from a higher amount of HP. Torn is last. I'm running an Assault Vest Torn with lots of bulk and very speedy, so I'm running enough speed on this Torn for Superior. This is my main Superior switch in. It's my main Moltres switch in. It's gonna have to be my main Alakazam switch in, even though I don't want it to be, and my main Nidoqueen switch in as well, but I don't want it to be. U-turn knockoff Air Slash Heat Wave. Excuse me. I'm not shirking on the. I probably don't need Air Slash this game, do I? I'd probably rather have Hurricane. I figure I need a little bit more damage actually. So Heat Wave is reliable against the Klefki, and so I don't really need the Fire Blast on the Hydra anyways. But again, I built this team like a week ago, so the live editing will have to happen. Knockoff is there just to get rid of items. Like I really need to get rid of lots and lots of items. If I can just knockoff spam his entire team, that'd be perfect. But it's not going to end up working out that way. U-turn, I need the momentum once again. I'm not running Volt Switch on Helio, so I need the momentum between U-turn from Torn and Hydra to be able to get my Heliolisk in, which I think is the biggest threat against this team that I'm bringing. And then Hurricane over Air Slash just because I want the damage against things like Mandibuzz and the Moltres. It's really important. If I can knock off the Mandibuzz as leftovers, that'd be perfect. That would probably put me in a really good position, honestly. And if I can catch like things like Zera Aura switching in with a knockoff, then I'm also sitting in a good spot. Although Zera Aura can also be Z moves, so got to keep my eye out for that. I would expect something like maybe a Bloom Doom from the Zera Aura to come this week, or maybe an all-out pummeling would make a lot of sense, or Z Bounce if he's scared of the Amoonguss sitting on top of a Zera Aura, which it definitely can. So in terms of what I'm not bringing, the Scizor, I don't remember why I'm not bringing this in all honesty. It looks really good besides the Mandibuzz and the Moltres. It kind of just beats everything else on the team. Maybe not Nidoqueen, but the rest of the team it definitely beats, just kind of sits on all of them. Amoonguss I definitely thought about bringing because it beats Superior and it beats Zera Aura very, very easily. And it can also potentially beat a Kommo-o if it's not bulletproof, but I'm expecting it to be bulletproof for things like Sludge Bomb and things of that nature. But again, the Moltres and the Mandibuzz just proved to be too much of a problem. Same reason for Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr looked all right as well, although the Mega Alakazam was definitely a threat to it. I'm not bringing Pelipper for the Rain this week. I think it's just too tempting for Zera Aura to come in on every single time. I think something like a Rain Dish Blastoise is going to come, so I've already sort of canceled the idea of a Blastoise having an ability this week, which is good, unless it's setting Rain manually for itself. And then Monferno is the same problem as all the Pokemon I listed above. It just doesn't really have a matchup here, so ends up being, sort of like awkward. This is the last week, or no, week 7 is the last week to make transactions. I'm recording this during week 7 because we're a little bit behind with my vacation and all, but we'll see if I make any transactions ahead of week 8, 9, and 10. As we make a final push towards playoffs, we'll sort of see. This match is pretty crucial in terms of keeping us in the playoff hunt. I'd like to move to 3-3 instead of being 2-3. In my division right now, in first place, there's a guy, the DS we beat is 4-1. Scrappy we beat is 3-2, so we beat both of the people ahead of us in our division. And then Sean, who we played later on in the season, is behind us at 2-3 with a lower differential than us. But I don't think it works that way. We're currently sitting in 9th overall in the league. So it'd be nice to slide into one of those spots there if I can, but I'm not sure if it's gonna end up working out that way. So again, hopefully that's all I've got for you. But yeah, week 6 against Leo. Enjoy the game, guys.